Hi, seventh grade. I hope you had a restful 3-day weekend and you're ready to start the week with math. Okay, so we're starting a new chapter and it's an introduction to probability. Today we're going to focus on learning what outcomes are and learning how to find the outcomes and learning how to identify a sample space. So let's get started. Let's look at these examples. So let's say we're playing a game of chess. Now, when we play chess, there's three possible outcomes at the end of the game, right? We could either win, lose, or we can draw, it being even, I guess. And it says that the collection of possible outcomes from an activity is called the sample space. So the sample space, I'm writing it in this bracket here, okay? And I'm writing W for win, comma, lose, L for lose, comma, and D for draw. Okay. Um, all right. Also, looking at another activity, flipping a coin, how many outcomes are there from flipping a coin? There's only two possible outcomes, right? Either you'll get a heads or a tails. And so the sample space is heads or tails, like this. What about rolling a six-sided die? Well, I see that there's six possible outcomes, right? Because the die can land up on one or two or three or four or five or six, okay? And then so the sample space is just those six numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, what about here, okay? The weather forecast. Well, there's six possible outcomes depending on where you live, I guess. There's six possible outcomes. Southern California is snowy weather possible outcome. Maybe rarely. It could be. So here there's six possible outcomes. It could be sunny, partly cloudy, cloudy, rainy, snowy, or a thunderstorm. And the sample space here is, I'm going to move my little video. Okay, it's going to be just this. Okay, sunny, partly cloudy, cloudy, rainy, snowy, or with thunderstorms. And an activity such as flipping a coin or rolling a number of die is often called an experiment. And from the experiment, you can see what the possible outcomes are and then the sample space. All right, here's some more examples. Now we're going to list the types of outcomes for each event and then state the number of outcomes. So let's look here. Here's a spinner, and the spinner has these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the colors red and blue. Red and blue, red and blue, red and blue. Now part A says you spin the spinner shown and record the number where the spinner lands. So it's only talking about the number. It's not talking about the color. So the outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And there are 8 equally possible outcomes because there's 8 numbers. Let's look at part B. You place the card shown face down. So you place these cards face down. Then you draw one and record the color. Okay, so we have a blue, we have a green, we have a purple, a brown, a green, and a white. So we have 2 greens, and all the other colors are different. Now in this case, don't forget that there are 2 green cards. You count the repeated cases when counting the possible outcomes. And so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equally possible outcomes, but only 5 types of outcomes. Okay? So the types of outcomes are blue, green, purple, brown, and white. There are 6 equally possible outcomes. All right, why don't you pause the video and try guided practice number 1, and let's see what you get. All right, so let's see here. We're going to select a letter from these lists of letters here. What are the possible outcomes? Okay, so it's either going to be A, D, E, G, or K. And then how many, what's the number of outcomes in the sample space? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 outcomes. Yeah, we're getting this, right? All right. Try number 2 on your own, and when you're ready, pause the video. All right. Hey. Okay, welcome back. It says use the cards below to form all possible 3-letter English words. So we have the letters A, B, C, D, and D. Remember, from these group of letters, we want to form 3-letter English words. So one word I thought of was add. Another word I see is bad. Another word I see is dad. Another word I see is cab. And I also saw dab, D-A-B, like you have a dab of ketchup on your face. That's what I was thinking. All right, and then B, state the number of outcomes in the sample space. So how many 3-letter words were we able to create from these groups of letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there are 5 outcomes in the sample space. All right. So that's all for today. Practice with your homework, and I will see you next time. Bye.